There's something broken, something so deep most people can't hear it, but you can feel it in that moment you wake up and put on a skin that isn't yours, when you smile out of obligation. Speak the way they expect you to, live just to fit into a mold that's been crushing your soul. Day after day, you've turned into a reflection, not a person. You've adapted so much just to be accepted that you can't even remember who you were before the world started telling you who you should be. And this is the exact moment when the magic fades. This is where life's wonder stops happening. Because the universe, my child, doesn't respond to masks. It responds to essence, to the raw, honest vibration of who you are. And as long as you're hiding your light under the cloak of someone else's approval, everything meant for you will stay just out of reach, on the other side of that door. How many times have you silenced your truth just to avoid disappointing someone? How often have you softened your voice, changed your smile, or redirected your dreams just to keep things comfortable for others? You've forgotten that you were born to fly with your own feathers, not fit into anyone's cage. And deep down, you know this is hurting you, not your body, your soul. It's screaming in silence, begging to be free, but you've learned to quiet it down with distractions, filters, goals that were never yours. And that's what's been tying your wings. It's not bad luck, not lack of effort. It's the absence of you, your absence from your own life. There was a man, many winters ago, called Michel Montaigne, a thinker who saw beyond words. He once said, "My life has been full of terrible misfortunes, most of which never happened. And what a truth that is. My little one, how many times have you suffered over stories that never came true? How many mental storms became real illnesses, fed by worries that never saw daylight? We don't get stuck in what happens. We get stuck in what we fear might happen, like stories silently written in our minds, where you live and die 1,000 times without ever leaving the room. Oh, the mind, this weaver of invisible realities, crafting tragedies before the first act even begins. It builds walls where there are none, creates enemies out of silence. And why? Maybe because of that old thirst to control what can't be tamed. Time, people, emotions. But the truth, and listen closely now, is that control is like a shattered mirror. The more you try to see clearly through it, the more its fragments cut your peace. And anxiety, my love, it's the fire that grows when you keep blowing on the embers of tomorrow. Montaigne understood that real freedom doesn't come from detachment, but from quiet surrender, from knowing, with the wisdom of trees, what's worth your light, and what should be left to fall like autumn leaves. He wasn't speaking of coldness, but of clarity, of looking at life through the eyes of someone who's already said goodbye to 1,000 versions of themselves, and now simply breathes authenticity. He said, not as a trend, but as a root, the one that grounds you in the soil of your soul. Even when the winds of judgment try to tear you away, you feel it, don't you? This aching need to just be, to stop fighting to fit inside frames that were never meant for you. To build relationships based not on possession, but on presence. To walk beside someone like you're moving through a forest. Together, no chains, just hands held, and in the silence of someone who accepts their own imperfection, A new kind of strength is born. Not the loud kind, but the one that hums low, like an ancient drumbeat. That's where the magic lives, in that sacred space, where you stop begging for approval, because that's when you finally belong to yourself. So if today fear comes thundering through your chest, just sit with it at the door, pour it some tea, listen to what it wants to say, but don't let it stay, because many of your misfortunes will never leave the fog of your thoughts. And you, my sweet soul, you deserve more than living in the shadow of imagined storms. Let go, breathe, and keep walking. There's no rush. Life knows the way, and you, even if you don't see it yet, are already on it. Now tell me, what are you still holding on to that you should have let go of by now? Leave it here with me, and go live the part of your story that hasn't been written yet. Dark or light, trust your sight.